Welcome to Real Life Stories. I'm Norm Rasmussen, narrating for you out of the Real Life Stories book. I'll be reading chapter 2 here, titled Life Seems So Simple When You're Young. Life seems so simple when you're young, but why wasn't it for me? The one thing I do know is that God had always had his hand over my life since before I was born. My mom almost had a miscarriage with me, but because God had a special plan for me, I'm still here today. When I was 2 years old, I was diagnosed with a bad case of asthma. I gave my heart to the Lord when I was 4 years old, and God healed me to where I never had asthma as bad as I did when I was first diagnosed with it. Shortly after I turned 5, however, someone very close to me began to touch me inappropriately. I did not know what to do. I did not know what to do. I began to isolate and blame myself. Once again, God was still looking out for me because around this same time, he called my parents to teach a class called Family Life Skills. As they went through training, my mom began to notice how my behavior had changed and was able to help me through it by using the tools she had just received. She let me know that it was not my fault and that God still loves me. All of this happened on top of having a difficult relationship with my brothers. I always felt like they never really loved me, and once again, I blamed myself. It wasn't until I went to a youth retreat when I was 13 that I realized it wasn't my fault. There I was set free from the pain that I was put through and all the traumatizing events in my life. After that, I knew that God really wanted to use me to help other people that have been through these circumstances. I prayed for years for both my brothers, and I'm finally seeing some results. The key to it all is to never give up. God never ceases to show up and take over when I can't take it anymore. He's always had his hand over my life, and he always provided for me in every way possible. Hard times may come into our lives for a season, but don't let them bring you down. Just know that this too shall pass, and God's still there through it all. And we know that in all things we are more than conquerors through him who loves us. This is written from Jasmine. And I have been reading a brief testimony out of the Real Life Stories book, published by Step by Step World Outreach Ministries. This is a book of 82 testimonies that Christians have written about how God has worked briefly in their lives, some more detail, some not. But this book is being used not only in the community where it was originally designed for, down in Indiana, but also now God is taking it around the world. He's taking it in different cities, communities across the country, and it's getting around to nations in third world country nations, and it's being translated into their languages. God is using this to give many, many people hope and encouragement. If you're interested at all in getting a copy of this for yourself, looking through it, you can go to the right here of the broadcast, and you'll see the link to the ministry that will tell you more about this book. This book excites me because part of the call of that God has placed on my life. I'm the co-founder, current director of Precious Testimonies Evangelistic Ministries. And part of my call has been to exhort pastors, other people, to publish the testimonies of born-again Christians. And so we're looking for God to use this as a pilot missionary of sorts to go out across the communities across America and around the world. But pastors can do the very same thing. They can come up with their own book, their own testimonies of their people, and just like this one, it can go out across the communities. God can use it to plant water seeds in the lives of those who read it. Hope and encouragement can come to believers. and souls can come to Christ through it. And I just want to encourage you to prayerfully, especially if you're a pastor, check this out. This is really something God's using, and it's something that the people in your fellowship would be excited to do. Wow, somebody want to publish my testimony? Yeah. And put it into a book? Yeah. And it can be done. Just go to step-by-step link there to the right, and you can find out more about it. And you can get a copy of this book too. You can order bulk copies and get them cheap, pass them out like tracts. I do that. As I've been able to come up with money and order a box of 40 books at a time, I go right down into the darkest part of the city that God sets me up on, or impresses me to go to, I should say, and go right down and go door to door and stand on the street as the Holy Spirit leads and hand out copies of this book free. It's a $12 book. We give them away free, no strings attached, and people just love a book of Christian testimonies that they can trust, and getting something for free. There's a lot of hopelessness going on, especially in the inner cities of this nation, and of course around the world. So with that, we'll be anxious to come back and hear chapter 3 of the Real Life Stories. God bless you.